What in the world is happening to my wholesale business? Guys, here, this is a phrase I have heard from a ton of people here over this last 30, 45 days, and I'm finally willing. I've been pumping the brakes so hard on everybody who wants to sound cool by saying, oh my gosh, the market is shifting, for the past like 3 years, but we're there. I've had plenty of people over this last 30, 45 days who are doing 100, 200, 300 wholesale deals a year coming to me saying, holy crap, everything is different. I've got no net worth. My transactions are dying. Help me figure out how to do this creative financing thing. So we're going to talk today. We're just going to riff a little bit about what is going on in this market cycle right now and how you, especially if you got in after like February of 2015, really need to be paying attention to what's happening right now and what your options are to make sure that you're not one of the hundreds of thousands of people who die in this industry over this next year. Stick around, we'll get into it on the other side.
Teach me something.
Hola, everybody. What's up, Mr. Daniel Moore?
Not much, man. I don't think I've got to do this with you since we had our debate on or what was it, subject to versus rentals?
Yeah.
That's the last time you and I have been on
Had
together.
somebody asking for that the other day, and that started trending again on our YouTube stuff because it's a good video. So if you haven't watched that, go back and check us out as we both act like idiots that don't know how the other side works.
It was a fun debate. If you don't have it, maybe we'll drop it in the links below, but that was a fun debate.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining me on this today, man. I'm really happy to have Daniel here for many reasons. A, y'all all know what a freaking genius he is, but B, Daniel experienced this exact cycle that I'm bringing up to you guys many years ago as he was and continues to be. I mean, you've always been very... Your head is incredible. You're able to kind of see 3 steps ahead.
I try to be forward thinking with what's going on, and like real estate has the ability to create massive amounts of wealth. And if you're struggling to create massive amounts of wealth, either you don't have the right path or you don't have the right mentor. And I mean, I was able to see that in a few cases. So
right.
It just is what it is. Sorry if I blew that off.
No, you didn't. Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that you've got to look ahead. You've got to see what's happening. And again, when I'm talking about what's happening in my wholesale business, I'm not sitting here saying, hey, there's this guy that did 5 deals and he's telling me that his market is going away. That's not what's happening, right? That's been happening for the past 4 years. What's happening right now is the guys that are doing 200 plus deals a month.
That's a pretty solid.
200 plus deals a year are coming to me saying, whoa, dude, hold on. Things are changing. And we've got to figure this crap out, right? If you got started since, it was like, it wasn't at 2015, was it 15 or 16? It was 15, right?
Close to 15, I'm pretty sure.
I
was looking at it around 14.
Okay, that's right, yeah.
Moving.
That's when we got together. It was actually end of 13, start of 14. 15, first quarter of 15, we went here in DFW from a days on market of about 6 months to a days on market to about a week or 2 within a span of 2 months, okay? Since that time, we've seen a gradual, extreme gradual, right? It's been an increase of everybody getting in because guess what? Real estate's the place to make money. So if you're sitting there as somebody who has gotten into real estate since 2015, I'm especially talking to you right now because you are about to be in a world of hurt, frankly. And if you are not wise enough to look at what the market has to offer you and different strategies that can help you build a long-term wealth rather than a transactional income, day-to-day income, you're going to be screwed. You're going to be out of this market.
And that's a lot of what I plan on talking about at Wholesaling Live with Elizabeth Neveretti down in Houston is I'm going to be speaking specifically on market cycles and applying the right strategy for the right cycle because I see a lot of people trying to jump in at this current market and they're trying to apply strategies that they should have been applying 3 or 4 years ago, and they'll work right now until they don't. And if you're caught in the middle of it without a foresight of what's about to happen, you're going to end up struggling. Like I've got somebody within our network And I've got mad respect for him, and he's out there, and his answer to the current market is, I'll just do more volume with lower margins. Well, they're doing that with flips. Well, if you saw what happened to people in 2007, they took the same philosophy. It's like, I make money rehabbing, so instead of accepting that, I need to do deals at 70 cents on the dollar, and that's my safety net, they're like, well, I'll just do 10 deals at 85 cents on the dollar, so that way I can still make money. Well, that is great until the market pops underneath you and you're not prepared for it. And all of a sudden you're sitting on 20, 30 assets that you're over leveraged on, unable to dispose of, and you don't have the creative financing structures to get out from under them. And now you're sitting in a position where your net worth was going like this and you thought you were God. And then all of a sudden, boom, and you're jumping out the side of a window.
Yep. I've heard that time and time again of people who, and we all do it, we let our hubris get a hold of us, right? When we're having a successful model, we start thinking that everything that we touch is gold and that we can't go wrong. And, well, look, hey, every time so I used to make 30 grand a flip or whatever. Now I'm making 15 a flip, so I'll just do double the volume. I'll up my marketing, I'll do double the volume, and then exactly where you're sitting. So this is how me and Daniel actually got to know each other in the first place, was Daniel, a successful wholesaler, a dude doing the 50, 60, 70 houses a year plus, recognizing, hey man, I'm making a ton of money, I'm rich, but I got a job, right? And I need to start looking at what I can do for my future that doesn't require my day-to-day interaction. So that's where our relationship started. Was he saw that my partner Ronnie at the time, Scott, we were all making transactions that were making us money up front, but really we're helping our net worth and really we're helping the long term. And he said, guys, I need to know what's going on there. So that's where our relationship started, is through showing him with deal splits and JVing on some. He's like, I got leads. Show me how to do these with net worth instead of transactional cash. So we split some deals, and he was able to add some stuff to his portfolio.
That was interesting, man. Like I was in my bubble. I was aware of your bubble, but I was completely oblivious to how that bubble was built. And it was amazing because I looked at your office and several other offices as an opportunity to find someone to mentor with. And just the product that y'all were doing over there, the way y'all were structuring your transactions was mind-blowing to me. And then getting the opportunity to sit down with you and your team and learn that aspect of the business completely changed my mindset on papering up contracts, because I always went in with 2 or 3 tools like you refer to all the time. I was going to wholesale, I was going to flip, I was going to do some sort of short-term transaction because I was scared of the long-term liabilities. And then sitting down and seeing how your office was transacting these, doing hundreds of deals, I was like, this is the new way.
Right.
So I appreciate y'all taking the time to teach all that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm passionate about it. I love seeing guys who are able to get what they thought they were going to get out of real estate. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it boils down to, is like, for the same reason I talk so much smack about rentals, of they're not what everybody thinks they are. They're great, but they're probably not what you think they are getting into them. I think real estate can be much that same way. I think we get so enamored by the Facebook checks and the crap that gets spewed out there, that, and here's a prime example. Here's a prime example of why I think it really matters for you to look at real people doing the industry and real strategies, and rather than just getting so enamored by the Facebook stuff. Is because I've got a Road to Retirement series on my site where I break it down for you in a matter of 3 or 4 videos. We get so wrapped up in how many times do you talk to somebody who their goal is to do 60 houses a year, right?
That is ignorance, in my opinion. And it's not stupid, because it's not that, it's ignorance.
I love your differentiating. That's good.
You are uneducated. You do not understand how wealth is created in this industry, and you're placing your future, your net worth, on a number that means jack. Nothing. It means nothing. 60 deals a year means nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thank you so much for describing it that way, because for 2 reasons. That's why, I don't like, now I will speak that language. If you talk to me and you're saying, what are your goals? I'll speak that language, but I'm able to speak that language because I know what the background of that language is. Amount of deals, stop worrying about the amount of deals that you're doing. Start worrying about the profitability that you have. There's 2 things that I want to point out here. Everybody wants to talk about doing 60 deals a year, 70 deals a year, whatever. If they're big, if they want to be like, I'm going to do 75. If they're like, I'm going to be reasonable and do a lot, they say 50. You need 60 deals in your portfolio, period. to make $10,000 a month for the rest of your life.
And see, that's where you and I differentiate. You and I look at things totally differently. And that's one of the things that I like being able to look at you on, because you are an extremely intelligent man. And I just get the luck of being around you to learn from you. But like, I sat on a stage with Will Crozier, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 months ago. And this man went from, you know, pretty much living in the back of a Buick to having a strong 8-figure net worth. And he did it in a span of about 6 to 7 years. Big part of that, I would say, applies to cyclical market cycles, and he was aware of them and took advantage of them. But when he was asked from the stage what his biggest risk was, or what he considers his biggest risk in this market to be right now, and his response was transactional risk. The amount of deals that I do is risk. I don't want to do 5 deals. I don't want to do 4 deals. I want to do 1. And I don't even want to do that one, because every deal that I put my name on is a problem. And one of the things you're talking about is like 60 properties. I'm sitting here like, that scares me. Like, I would much rather do 1 deal a year and make 7 figures off of that 1 deal than try and go out there and do 60, 70, 80 homes and make maybe 300 grand.
Totally.
And that's not a bull number.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of these people you're talking about doing 60, 70, 80 grand, they're making maybe, or 60, 70, 80 deals, they're making probably 300 to 600,000 on the top side.
And so let's riff on that for a second. I think
if I threw you off track, my bad.
No, not at all. I think that it's a really valid part of the conversation to talk about. I want to hit that when we come back from the break, okay? Because I think that that's worth spending a segment on, is kind of the difference there, and because cycle had a lot to do with Will Crozier.
It did. It had a lot to do with a lot of those people.
Exactly. And I think that we're entering a cycle where another Will Crozier can be created.
I agree.
We haven't been there. And I think too many people don't appreciate that. Will Crozier is not one of those people that doesn't appreciate that.
He knows what happened.
He knows what happened. He was smart about it, right? But I think the error is a lot of these guys see the Will Croziers cashing out over this past few years and making that big money and saying, oh, well, now must be the time to get into multifamily. Now's the time to cash yourself out of that cycle, right? Now's where he's really like made that. So let's talk about that when we get back, because that's very important. But let's, for the next 3 or 4 minutes, just kind of finish up the thought process of, I don't want you to do 50 or 70 houses a year unless you know what that really means, which I would argue the majority of people don't. My argument is, most people, if I ask you, and this is the whole premise of my Roadmap to Retirement series, if I asked you right now, and I want you guys to comment this, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to comment. I want you to comment this right now, and I know we're on a delay, so I'm going to delay my speaking a little bit because I want some answers to happen. If I said, how much money a month do you need to be making to be able to retire? Okay, passive. There's no such thing as passive. There's only varying levels of passive. But passive income. How much money do you need to be making on a monthly basis to have your alarm go off, to roll over in bed and say, you know what, I'm all right. Nah, I'm kind of done, right? I'm not saying you will retire. I'm saying you can retire. Comment that in the comments. And don't comment that, don't flex. This is not the time to flex. Be real. Because I'm going to have 3 people that are going to say, I want $30,000 a month of passive income. I need $600,000 a month of passive, because you want to flex on Facebook and show how badass you are. Don't. What's your real number of, I need to be making at least this much to say I can be done?
I'd like to throw into that point, because I know that people are going to go out there and say, I'm trying to clean up my speech while I'm on camera. Naturally, in my natural state, I curse like a sailor, and I'm trying to clean that up.
You're doing well. You're doing well. You've caught yourself each time. Man.
So what I'm trying to say, though, is I'll see people drop that $10,000 or $15,000 number out there on that number that they're trying to acquire to retire, and I'll call them out on it every single time. I'm like, that is absolutely not necessary. You don't need 15 grand a month to retire. One of the things that I put my number at, my number was like $2,500 bucks. $2,500 bucks for me was a retirement, because what I did is I put myself in a position where $2,500 bucks was all I needed. And to do that, I had to scale a lot of things back. I had to come in and I had to I got rid of my 13-acre ranch with the 40, no, what was it? It was like 3,600 square foot house that me and my wife lived in. I didn't need all that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money that I did not need. I bought a cash mobile home for $1,200. I moved into a mobile home in a nasty mobile home park. And from there, I got rid of the Tahoe with the 28s on it with $30,000 worth of stereo equipment in it. I got rid of a lot of the unnecessary expenses that I was consuming to make myself feel good about myself. And then when you own a cash mobile home and your lot rent's $250 a month, food, I owned everything else free and clear. I needed $2,500 to retire. Yeah. That is how I retired myself to a point where I was no longer making decisions based upon how much money I need this month. I was making decisions on how can I maximize each and every deal I do to make the absolute most money.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
So if you're out here saying 15 grand, I'm going to sit down with you and be like, hey, something's wrong with your life if you're really trying to make yourself retire.
Well, and here's the other point to that is that most of the time, so
I'm sorry if I turned that into a debate, man.
No, not at all. This is why. So guys, y'all get so much value from the whole idea, the thing that makes working with Daniel so wonderful for me and for you guys is that we come from different worlds, right? And we've got different outlooks on everything, and nobody's wrong. And that's the premise of the rentals versus sub-twos is I tell my students all the time, I don't care what you do, I want you to know why you do what you do. If you've got a why behind your what, do whatever the freak you want. But you need that why, okay? So if y'all like this kind of debate, if y'all like having that kind of knowledge, make sure and subscribe. Make sure to give us a like. Guys, I'll be very honest with you. The subscribes, the likes, the hit the little, on YouTube, hit the little alarm bell that alerts you of that. That will help us out. That will help us out, and that will help your community out, because our job is to make sure that the most people possible are getting real, actual information about what's going on in the market and what can be done to change somebody's life. So y'all's ability to change somebody's life, this is very cheesy, could come from giving us a like so that somebody else gets alerted by YouTube who needs to see this type of video. So that helps this kind of grow, and it helps you build your own community out. So please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. So let's go to some of our answers here. We've got Rebel saying $7,000 a month. Jermaine saying $8,000 a month. Matt saying, hey, if I paid off my house and car, $2,000 a month.
I want to have a conversation with Blaine Cruz saying 20 grand a month is what he needs to retire. Because I would sit up here and debate that all day long.
Right.
That is a BS number. I hate to say that. I hate to call you out like that. But 20 grand a month is a lifestyle. That's not retirement. And what we're asking you for right now is retirement. Retirement meaning that your bills are paid. And if you've got $20,000 a month in bills and you're trying to create a true generational next step wealth, if your lifestyle costs you $20,000 a month, you should adjust your lifestyle to create that long-term wealth.
And the flip side of that being that there's nothing wrong with wanting that. That could be like, there's kind of two levels, right? There's this is where I could, this is where I would like to be, right? I'm not going to argue with, hey, I would like to make $250,000 a year for the rest of my life. I'm not going to argue with that. That's fine. That's totally cool. If you want that kind of money, but could is a different answer. Could retire is a different answer. Here's so we've got Phil with 7, Joshua with 12, Matthew with 5, Brandon with 15. Here's the point. The point is I've done the math, and the math says, okay, and here's my next question.
I've almost got a debate going. I'm sorry, man. I'm ready to debate this one, so I'm gonna hit the brakes on that, man.
All right, so we're gonna put that as another debate. We'll do that as another debate because maybe we'll do. And actually, I think actually, if I just say actually with different inflections, it's like a sentence. I think it was you and me that were on here. It might have been me and Ryan that we did a rudimentary version of the Roadmap to Retirement math early on in the Grant Teach Me Something series. So you can go back and kind of see me prove this out. My next question that I'm not going to wait for the responses on is how many years from now do you want that number to happen? Okay? Realistically. Now, the flex number that some of you will be tempted to say is 2 years from now. That's not realistic unless you've been in this business for a little while, okay? If you are trying to get to your bottom line number, how many years from now do you want that to happen? Now, the average answer that I get is $10,000 in 10 years. And I think that is reasonable, okay? I think that's a reasonable average number when the realistic number is more like 5, more like 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
I think 10 is accomplishable for anybody.
Right.
I truly think that if if you've got the knowledge, that the 4 to 5 is very doable.
Exactly.
Like one of the things that I would have to say is like that $2,500 a month. I did that $2,500 a month. So even if I was pulling in 20,
right,
I had $17,500 a month to reinvest back into something else. So I used that period of a year and a half to 2 years of living on bare means, so that way every single bit of additional income that was coming in went towards full-blown retirement.
Which is absolutely the right way to do it. And in those videos, I will actually draw out how tempted you will be to use that extra $17,500 and how you cannot touch it, because at the end of the day, if your number was something, I will tell you, the math adds up. $10,000 a month in 10 years, passive, happens at 50 deals, okay? With that number, in 10 years, you will be passively getting $10,000 a month. That number will go up to $56,000 a month and then come back down to $32,000 a month with 50 deals in your portfolio. Okay, so get out, I have to do 50 a year, and get in, I need to do the right deals every year. Okay, so we can go over those maths another time, but I want you to be looking at the difference of, you don't have to kill yourself to do 50, 60, 70 deals a year. You need to kill yourself to do the right deals every year, and that's what we're talking about, because that wholesaler market that you're used to, the cash market you are used to, is falling away, and the guys that know how to do this stuff are the guys that are going to make that long-term wealth. So stick around with us. We're going to go to break. When we get back, we're going to talk about market cycles, how it has formed certain huge investors that you know of, and how these cycles are changing right now. And if you don't get on board with it, you're going to be left behind. Stick around. We'll see you in a minute.
Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites. Access to true MLS comps, off-market lead lists, and deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
You want to buy more houses. Here's Dar and his wife after only 2 weeks of being my mentor student. And here's Brady after paying attention to all our online videos and attending all the live Q&As. You want to buy more houses? 3 steps. Sign up at creativecashflow.com/memberships. Watch all the videos, attend the live Q&As, and then send me a photo with you and your sweet, sweet new contracts. CreativeCashflow.com, helping you buy more houses for one low price of only
And welcome back. All right, so what y'all didn't get to hear was the 2 minutes of Daniel telling me what an idiot I am during the
I did not even come close to that. We always have different opinions, man. That's what's one of the wonderful things about you and I sitting down together, is you are absolutely correct and I am absolutely correct. And that's because we have different realities, and in our realities, we are both 100% correct. And we are both 100% accurate with what we can do and have done.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm trying to get my comments up here. So if you're on Facebook, we got a bunch of people watching on Facebook. Comment, engage with us. We'd like to talk to you guys. We'd like to keep this going. YouTube, you're doing a great job talking to us. Let us know what you're thinking. We want to get this going for you. All right, so let's take a minute and talk about how the market cycle has affected who you know in the industry, okay? Because one of the errors that people have made in this is not appreciating that they are seeing the Super Bowl and that it took 16 weeks of training and hard knocks and hits and investment and game planning to get there, okay? And so what you're seeing is a lot of gurus coming out who just made a bunch of money in their multifamily or in their whatever and telling people, hey, let me show you how to do this. And again, not appreciating that there was a lot of work that went into it, and that work, in a lot of ways, had to do with cycle, right? So one of the things I appreciate about Will, and I don't know Will on a personal level like you do, but I feel like he's very open and another just super intelligent dude who understands what got him where he is and is totally willing to give the reality of that out to the public, right? So can you give us just a little bit of an insight? And we're going to use Will as one semi-case study here of where big money has come from in a market, and we're going to use him as the example of do a deal that makes you a ton of money, and then I'm going to go back to, because Daniel is, dude, you're saying you got to do 50, 60 deals, and I think that's BS. We're going to use the extreme of the let's do one deal, and then I'm going to argue kind of the point of why I'm talking about doing 50, 60, 70 deals total there. So give us a little bit of backstory of who Will is, how that money has come about, and if you don't want to, maybe
I'm not going to speak on Will. I'm going to speak on Will's strategy.
Good. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's probably better to do it that way.
I would much rather do that. So if we start looking at cyclical markets and we start looking at where we are at, like you've got the bottom of the market, which is where everybody should be getting in, and you've got the top of the market where everybody typically gets in. And that goes back to like the Warren Buffett statement of like, I get greedy when people sell and I sell when people get greedy. And that is so true to the cyclical markets. Well, what happened with a lot of people that made massive wealth over the last 10 years is 2007, 8, 9, whenever we popped and we went hard, the market tanked south. And for the people that dove in hard 9, 10, 11, 12 and acquired and held assets when there were massive amounts of assets available at discount, those were the people that truly made significant long-term wealth. And what they did with that is they bought at the bottom of the cycle, and then they were able to churn those assets as the cycle was moving on the upside, collecting appreciation, reinvesting back into other assets that allowed them to acquire more. And they've done this through single family homes, they've done this through multifamily, they've done this through multiple different asset classes. But through doing it during the right cycle, the deals were easier to get and the wealth was easier to create. We are now sitting at the top of a market cycle. And sitting at the top of a market cycle, everybody's jumping in. Because of that, it is much harder to do. The people that are smart are the ones that collected it at the bottom of the cycle, and they're now moving into a cash position. Moving into a cash position now, why would I want to do that? Because in the market pops, the people that have cash available to them are going to be the ones that win in the next cycle. All of this are things to think about. Now, one of the things that you and I kind of get back and forth on is the 50, 60 deals versus one deal. I am a big, I would be a big supporter of lifestyle. When you are in a difficult market cycle, 60, 70 deals a year is a solid. You're either running a full-time in business, running full-time employees to get that amount of transactions done, my opinion. I don't have any desire to run 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 employees. I'm not a people person. I don't like dealing with people on that level. So for me to knock out 60, 70 deals, that is a huge amount of work. What I found out was in 2000, I'm horrible with days and dates and numbers. It was 2014-ish whenever I hit you up. I was doing a lot of volume, but I didn't like the income I was making from that volume. And the only option for me at that time was to scale up my employees, which I did not want to do, or shift my investing strategy. I was doing like 60 or 70 deals that year. The next deal I did like 20 to 25, but I made more than twice the amount of money.
Yep.
How did I do less than half the deals I did the year before, but made more than twice the amount of money? Because I started focusing on the right types of deals. And then I went from doing 25 or so deals that year to doing about 10 the next year and almost tripled my money and took my net worth to a whole different level. All because of the types of deals that I was going after. I stopped chasing what was being thrown in front of me through Facebook advertising and all the shiny Lamborghinis and BS that was being thrown around and started looking at truly real estate investing. And at the point in time I did that, I would be completely comfortable right now doing one deal a year and never have to worry about it again.
Right. And so to that point, I think that's very true. Everything that you just said is massive truth. And I experienced that too, even in our world of when the market did shift.
Sub-2's dried up.
Yeah, sub-2. You know, the funny thing is hold on, I'm trying to get this so that I can actually talk to you guys. The funny thing is you hear so many times of when the market gets bad and everybody's like freaking out about what happened to their money and that was me when the market got good, because I learned how to do this business in a down market. So in that overnight period when the market got great and sub-2's dried up a little bit, it blew my mind. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? How do I make money with this? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And it took me some time to get, but that's the key, is you have to adapt. You have to adapt or you will be screwed. And so
how
I
would you say
adapted to cash, right?
Okay.
So in this market, that has been such a heavily cash-intensive market, I haven't bought a bunch of sub-2s in the last several years. I've bought a ton of deals with cash and turned around and wrapped them, okay? Now, sub-2 is coming back on the plate, boys, and that's what I'm trying to lead you guys to understand, is that we've got, and again, these are not chumps that are coming to me asking me to teach them how to do sub-2. This is not people that have done 4 or 5 deals. This is people who've done 500 deals, 1,000 deals, coming to me saying, hey, things are shifting now, and I've got to move away. And you want to know one of the things that I'm hearing commonly as a common string in these conversations is they're coming to me and they're saying, Grant, I'm tired. I'm just freaking tired of doing this. I hear that one over and over and over again. Not just, is my market collapsing, my cost per close is going up. What was your cost per close? And like, well, you're not a huge like.
I'm not a data guy. I just get out there and do it.
So our cost per close averaged like $750 to $1,200 a closing back in like 2013.
I remember those days.
We have seen that number go to where the average cost per close nationally. Anybody want to guess what the cost per close is nationally right now?
I just had Gary Harper say that, and I'm going to let the people chime in, and I'm going to shoot my foot off. Depending upon your MSA, about 11 grand.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, okay. All right. Anybody else want to chime in?
On average, 7,500.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, here's the difference, too. First close is typically 10 to 15 for your first closing. Once you have your market funnel working, average is about $5,500 per closing. Okay. Good marketing campaigns, good operators are running at about $3,000 per closing. Okay.
Okay. So that's interesting news.
So what we're seeing here is cost per close has gone up dramatically. And when I say good operators, I'm talking about guys that are doing, that have done 500 plus deals.
They know the business.
They know the business, right?
They understand.
Guys like us that can take deals down in multiple ways. And this is what I'm trying to encourage you guys to know, is that if you do not have multiple ways to close a deal, your cost per close is going to be significantly higher than mine. Because I can go in and close a deal that Joe Cash Buyer can't. Right? Which means that if we both get 2 leads, one of them is low equity and one of them is a prime cash deal, well, I'm going to close both of those and you're going to close one of them, so your cost per close is twice as much as mine. Right? So it is a intense time right now to understand that if you're not watching this with the eyes of tomorrow and you're not understanding that we have to adapt, you're going to get left behind. Now, I've drifted us past what we were originally talking about in this segment. This segment is one deal versus multi-deals. We could debate for hours and hours and hours and hours on asset class. And I think that is the core debate in this conversation, is what is your asset class and what are your needs and what are your, superpowers? What's the thing that you can bring to the table, okay? So I knew and lastly, let me add in there, not just the superpower, what are your needs, but what will you do? There's a difference between what should you do and what will you do. And that's a big kick that I've been on. Should you go out there and door knock? Probably. Will you go out there and door knock? I won't. So why would I spend 6 months beating myself up over the fact that I didn't door knock last week, rather than figuring out the marketing campaign that I will do that will bring me money, okay? So will versus should, as well as can versus will, right? So when I got into the market, I did not have, and I've said this plenty of times, and you the same way, I did not have anybody in my family with money. Nobody had done real estate. Nobody was able to kind of pick me up in that arena. And I chose the single family asset class and hit it. Had I chosen that class in 2012 when I got into this business, and within a year had figured out, yeah, hey, multifamily is great right now, then I would have, and then I'd hit multifamily just as hard, I would have had more money, cash, in this last 3 years than I do now. Would I have actually gone down that road and completed it? Maybe, maybe not, okay?
With the right mentor, I think you would have. And
Maybe.
I think you were mentoring under somebody that was stuck on single family and damn good at single family.
Right.
By all means, no knock there. But I think had you been in the circle of Will Crozier's, you would have been exposed to a different path to the top of the mountain.
And
you would have
100%
charged it
agree
because
with that.
you're 100% the take action kind of guy. And I've been around you long enough to know that when you see opportunity, you would take it. You just at that time hadn't been presented it.
Right. And I think that is part of the conversation that we have to have of. So I'm gonna take this into a little bit deeper of a because it's the teach a man to fish thing, right? This is a core concept that I want you guys to understand in your business. We as Americans, and our majority market is male Americans, but it's not too much majority, right?
It's about 60-40.
It's about 60-40. We as Americans have been trained, nothing good comes for free, nothing good comes without hard work, okay? The core concept that I need you guys to understand is if we spend so much time telling ourselves that the hard thing is the thing that we have to do or else we will not get good results from it, we will sometimes and very often forget to appreciate the things that come easy to us that nobody else can do, okay? We forget to appreciate our own superpower. What is your native genius, as Liz Wiseman calls it in The Multipliers? What is the thing that you can do second nature that somebody else can't, okay? If you forget to appreciate, hey, this stuff is kind of natural to me, and I can kill it over here, and you only look at, hey, that guy's doing really well with X, and that is hard for me, therefore, that must be why he's doing so well at it. Therefore, I have to work my ass off to get to what he's doing. You may be not appreciating the thing that you could have done better than everybody else, okay? So this is why I want you to apply this concept to everything in your company. Not only what is your role within your company, but what is the asset class that you're working towards and how are you going to get to the top with that? If I had focused so much on, hey, I've got Texas's, or if I had left behind, I've got Texas's preeminent attorney on creative financing who's done thousands and thousands and multi-millions, billions of deals, willing and able to show me how to do this single family tract, but I see that somebody else over here is doing multifamily really, or I said multifamily, I meant single family. I see somebody doing multifamily, I'm gonna trash that and chase this. I may not have done well. My point is you got to choose one and go with it. Okay? And if you're going to choose single family and you're going to see your successes in there and hammer it and see successes, don't get so distracted by shiny things that you lose. But he who chases two bunny rabbits catches none.
And let me slow down and break some of these things down. What we mean by asset classes, single family homes, multifamily, mobile homes, mobile home parks, condominiums, retail, office warehouse, industrial parks. The asset classes completely change and they all move in their own cycles. They don't all trend together at the exact same time. So looking at different asset classes, find one that you feel like you can dominate and win in. And then once you go into them, there are once again strategies to apply to those asset classes. So like in single family homes, I can be a short sale specialist. I can be a sub 2 specialist. I can be a creative financing guy. I can be a rehabber. I can be a wholesaler. I can be any one of those things. But those strategies also have market cycles that apply best with. So if he studies single family, what strategy for what cycle? And one of the things that he is mentioning on this is his ability to go in there and say, I need to focus on this one thing. And your thing is single family homes. And don't go out there and say, I'm gonna be the captain of all of these, because if you try to do that, you're gonna fall short. Figure out the one that you feel like you truly can win at because of whatever strengths that you own, so that way you're not going out there trying to do everything at once and failing at them all. Does that feel like a fair summary?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna talk about single family because I'm good at single family. That's what you're here for on this video, right? So we understand we're getting into a market right now where everything's on the table. And you have to adapt. you have to figure out, hey, this cash market is not what the cash market was. I have to figure out some sub-2 creative financing. I happen to know a guy that teaches that pretty well. I have to figure out some other markets that might be able to supplant what I'm currently getting in my wholesale market, because that wholesale market is not long in the tooth. And there's going to be a lot of people falling away from that. So that's what Propelio, that's what Grant Teach Me Something, that's what the Propelio.com/academy is here to offer you, is let's look at this market with open eyes and find the way for us to keep in it together. I don't want to see a bunch of people drop out. So if you like this model of giving you that information, like us, subscribe to us, turn the little alert on. We've got 5870 YouTube subscribers on Propelio.com right now. We have way more than enough people watching on Facebook and YouTube to make that number go up to 5,900.
Can y'all help us out with that?
Let's get to 5,900. I want to see that happen, hopefully, by the end of this break. We're going to take a break. When we get back, I want to see this number go to 5,900, and we're going to kind of bring this all, we're going to kind of land the plane, all right? We've talked a lot about high-end concepts. We've talked a lot about kind of what's going on, but let's talk about some actionable ideas of what you might be able to do to make sure that you're not the guy working in the Home Depot paint section telling the young buck in 3 years, oh yeah, I was in real estate until the crash hit. How many times have we talked to that guy, right? So stick around with us. Let's see that number get up to 5,900, and we'll see you on the other side.
Propelio.com. What does Propelio offer? Lead generating websites. Access to true MLS comps. Off-market lead lists. And deal alerts. Get them all today at Propelio.com.
You want to buy more houses. Here's Dar and his wife after only 2 weeks of being my mentor student. And here's Brady after paying attention to all our online videos and attending all the live Q&As. You want to buy more houses? 3 steps. Sign up at creativecashflow.com/memberships, watch all the videos, attend the live Q&As, and then send me a photo with you and your sweet, sweet new contracts. creativecashflow.com, helping you buy more houses for one low price of only
All right, so we are back here talking about what's happening to my wholesale market. I think we, to summarize kind of our position, is that for this last 4-ish years, we've been in a market that's been moving up and up and up and up, and more people are hearing, hey, this is a great market, and more people are hearing what I would consider false information that says, if you're going to get into real estate and you don't have other resources, you should be a wholesaler. I say that is an option. That is not the option, right? What Daniel Moore and myself have dedicated to putting in front of you is a platform of education that will help you guys understand, not the guru speak, but the actuality of how you really become successful. I got married to get successful. How you really become successful and how you really make money in this industry rather than how you show people that money could be made in this industry. What we've done is we've paired up together because here's the because, right? Every good ask comes with a because. Every good reason comes with a why. Our why is that we're going to see multiple benefits from helping you become successful. Daniel has a platform called Propelio.com. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, I'm sorry, because Propelio.com is an amazing platform that gives you real MLS comps, gives you the ability to run all your websites like some other, I was going to say vegetable. I don't know. Is it a vegetable? Or what is the thing that you pick from a ground that rabbits eat and offer to you for way too much money? You can get the just as good, if not better, option through Propelio.com to run your websites for you. CRM functionality, and a lot of really cool stuff that's coming down the pipeline.
Nationwide
like driving
lead lists are out right now.
Yeah.
Driving for Dollars is out in beta, so there's a lot of cool things.
You've got some
coming from that side.
amazing stuff to go for you right now. Propelio.com will be the difference between an operator and a hobbyist. Okay, if you want to be an operator, if you want to be a real player in this industry, you have to have a Propelio.com on your side. CreativeCashflow.com is my platform to train people how to do creative financing. I do a weekly Q&A every Monday night. For my high-end mentor students, we do a Thursday deal analysis workshop where I run a deal in front of you every week A real today deal with real actual numbers of how we're going to take something down creatively that should not have been a deal, but is going to make you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, and $300, $400, $500, or I'm sorry, up front, and $300, $400, $500 a month. And then we do a quarterly mastermind for all of the people in that level. And I've got an online academy that trains you the start to finish on creative financing with negotiating and creative financing and all that kind of stuff. Those are our two platforms, right? For us to continue to be successful with these platforms, we need people out there to be successful in real estate. If you're not successful in real estate, you will not stick around and continue to be part of our community, which is what we want to grow. So how do we remove obstacles from you and closing deals? Well, we remove obstacles from you and closing deals by educating you. This is a knowledge market. I got into this industry with zero money and zero connections. And through knowledge, I became a millionaire in 5 years. This dude came up in a neighborhood that is one of the two neighborhoods that I will not buy in DFW, and has become a millionaire based off of knowledge. So we had the power to offer that to you, and that is what we are doing through propelio.com/academy. If you have been there, comment. Let us know what your experience was in that. And if you've not been there, check it out. It's freaking free to learn the insides of how to do this real business. And when we say free, don't think free. Think we are giving you something so that you can become a successful real estate investor for the long term. This has hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of education inside of it, but we want you to have that so that you can become successful and survive these downturns. Is there any other point that you want to run out on that?
I think you've said it well. I'm going to spend 45 seconds putting my tailspin on the end of it. Like, I grew up, by the time I was 19, I was looking at life in prison. I'd committed an aggravated robbery. I lost my temper, and I was looking at full-blown life in prison at that time. For whatever reason, I was blessed. I didn't have to go to prison. And I came out the backside of it, and I wish I could say I did something better. I didn't. I stayed in the lifestyle. I stayed doing what I was doing. And I finally got to a point in life where I realized that the path I was going down was going to lead to death, and really nothing other than that, and a very early death. At that point in time, I got introduced to real estate. And like you said, it's a knowledge-based type of thing. I started reading a couple of books, read a couple books, knocked out a deal, and I quickly saw my bank account go from a negative to, six-figure solid and really fast. As I continued progressing, the people that I grew up with that I considered family were all reaching out to me saying, hey man, like, I saw how you got onto this game. Let's like teach it to me. And I'd spend weeks and weeks and weeks and teaching all these people these things. And I wanted to help every single one of them. And I got to the point where I was having to take away from my family to do that. So the Propelio Academy was my way of creating a full-blown actionable education system that whenever somebody came up to me, even if it was a complete and total stranger, I want them to have the opportunities that I never had. Growing up how I grew up, growing up where I grew up, we had no hope. Like, we were taught all of the ends, hustling, pimping, slinging, whatever it ended up being. Those were the career paths that we were taught. Mm-hmm. And for those that do not have opportunity outside of those, the Propelio Academy was my way of giving back to them. And then as I've grown in this industry, I have found that this story resonates across several different classes. It's not just the poor people that are struggling. The middle class is struggling hard. The middle class is getting destroyed. The middle class is quickly becoming the poor. And the only thing that's stopping this from happening and continuing to shift all of the wealth to the ultra wealthy is knowledge. And if we can prime y'all with the knowledge necessary, we can all win, man. There's no reason why we all can't win. And the Propelio Academy is free. If you have seen the Propelio Academy, go out there and check it out. And it's not BS. It's people like this rock star right here teaching you the things that I sat down with him for years to learn. It's me spending, I've spent like close to a decade in this business. I'm dropping it all out there on the table. I might not know it all, but what I do know, I know. And what I want to teach you is what I believe to be my truths. Go out there and check it out.
It's amazing. And we've got big names coming in here, guys. Eddie Speed has done a lesson for you guys on partial notes, which will blow your mind. Christina Kraus is...
She does over $1 million a month in marketing.
Yeah. She is sending out ridiculous amounts, and she is a freaking KPI machine. She's one of the most brilliant human beings I've ever met, and she gives it all to you on how to market and how to do lead generation. Go sign up, and we will email you as we're releasing these modules. It's already recorded, just haven't released it for you yet. So we're gonna have those coming up. So go sign up, and I will let you know when those are available to you, because it's very soon, and you will be blown away. So guys, that's our give. We're here to give to you. Our ask is very simple. I want this number to say 5,900.
We've got 5 people to agree to that.
Right? Our ask is very simple. I want to interact with you. I want you to comment. I want you to like. I want you to, let us know what you're seeing in the market. And if you want to take that next level step, go join us, right? Now let's get back to the topic at hand. The topic at hand is, it is no longer a question. The market is shifting. We are not sky is falling guys. As a matter of fact, I'm freaking ecstatic that it's shifting.
I am too, man.
I've been waiting for this moment for years. And everybody has liked to sound super cool for the past 3 years of, well, yeah, but it can't last. It's going to turn around for blah. Well, I've said, I don't care. I'm tired of having this conversation. I don't care. When it shifts, we'll buy differently. Until then, we're going to keep buying like we do, right? Well, here we are. We've got guys approaching me, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals under their belts, saying, my market's gone. My money is losing. I'm freaking tired of this hustle. What do I do? And so you got to shift. Now is the time that you need to be learning, because we're not shifted. We are shifting. Now is the time that you got to learn. Now is the time you got to join the creativecashflow.coms, the Propelio Academies, that kind of stuff, so that you are prepared for when that time happens and you start realizing, dude, 8 of the last 10 appointments I've went on owe 83% of their value, and I couldn't do anything with it. 8 of the last 10 appointments I went on were facing foreclosure and 7 months behind and didn't have enough equity to take my offer. What's going on here, right? And that cash per close is going to kill you. The guys that I'm talking about spend $1.5, $1.7 million a year in marketing. These are not chumps. So listen to what we say when we say that this shift is occurring, and you need to be smart about it. Because just like I said before, how many times, I mean, literally, I've had conversations with carpet truck owners, with paint store employees, with who else? All kinds of folks that are like, oh yeah, I was killing it in real estate. And then 2008 ran around and, here I am. Do you want to be that guy?
I know of several rock stars that killed it in this industry until the market shifted and they were unprepared, because it's easy to kill it if you're using the right strategy in the right cycle, and it's easy to lose every single bit of it if you don't realize that that cycle is shifting and you just double down.
Oh yeah.
And I have talked to plenty of people that were like, yeah, I went bankrupt. 2009, boom, bankrupt. I was a multimillionaire, bankrupt. I was a multimillionaire, bankrupt. That is a resonating story that I have heard over and over again. And as the old adage says, those that fail to study history are doomed to repeat it. And I am seeing right now a lot of people that are crushing it and are doing extremely well. Their F up right now is they're not paying attention to what's happening underneath them, and the rug's about to get pulled.
Right.
And I think that's what you're talking about right now.
It absolutely is. So guys, thank you for joining us. Keep in mind, Grant Teach Me Something, this happens every Wednesday. We're back today. I didn't even say, today's episode 1 of season 4. We've been going at it. I think we're on like our 75th episode right now or something like that. We've been going at it for a while. It's a lot of fun here, guys. So we're going to teach you every week at 11 a.m. right here how to do this creative financing stuff. If you want to be deeper into my circle and get that one-on-one attention that it needs to make sure that your portfolio doesn't disappear from underneath you, creativecashflow.com is the way to go with that. And if anybody's been watching me for the past since like November, guess what my prices are doing? Going up, but they already went up. They went up during the break. My prices have gone up, but because I understand that a lot of you were probably waiting on the, well, I'm going to wait until the last possible second before the prices go up to get in. I've created a coupon code for you that will be valid for this next week or so, just as thank you. Thank you for being a watcher. Thank you for being here as a Grant Teach Me Something person, as a Propelio subscriber. So if you go to creativecashflow.com/memberships, you sign up for the Seller Financing Essentials, you put in the coupon code thank you, you will get 50% off of the new price, which will make it $650 for you, and you'll get in, and I will love to help you get through your next cycle of your market. And
$650 to be in your circle is a lot cheaper than what I paid. Is a lot cheaper than what I paid. I know that I paid quite a bit more than that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
$650 is an extreme
Well, and that's my
value.
goal. Is I want to give you real information that other people are charging $60,000 for an amount of money that I would have been able to pay when I was getting into it.
Mhm.
You know, that's what it kind of boils down to. So you'll enjoy it. I absolutely guarantee that. Propelio.com, like we talked about, is a phenomenal piece of software that is going to help you out in your business. If you want to be a real operator, not a hobbyist, you're going to need a Propelio.com on your side. Check out the playlist on YouTube. We've got a whole playlist called Grant Teach Me Something, GTMS, that you can go through and watch previous episodes. Guys, thank you for being here. Keep your ear to the ground. We want to hear you guys coming back to us and letting us know. This is my dream. My dream is in a year and a half, we're going to be on episodes like this, and we're going to be talking about how many of you were here a year and a half ago when we warned you about this. And I want 95% of you guys to be here saying, I know 6 people that failed in this industry, but I survived because I got on board at the right time. Thank you so much for getting us there. So I look forward to you being there.
Let's talk about getting on board. So right now, I truly believe in this. So I tend to be pessimistic through most of everything. What keeps me drop down into reality is data.
Mm-hmm.
Without data,
Yep.
I cannot make decisions. Data clearly states that over this last year, our current DFW MSA over 500 grand is shot.
Yep.
Then it was over 400 grand is shot.
Yep.
We're now at like over 300 grand is getting shot.
Well, and I love how many deals got sent to me over this last year for $550,000 houses. They're like, look at the discount price that this is on. I'm like, well, it's that way because that is still an inflated market, even though it's way less than it was 2 years ago.
That market was getting hit hard.
Yep.
And then we start looking at days on market. I like to look at the months of inventory, days on market, and the prices that are trending up and down between different specific price points. Like you got your high, middle, and low price point. All of those things are indicating that all of those markets slowed down.
Yeah.
And now, right now, about the only market that still has solid viability to me right now is the lower income marketing, the affordable housing market. So all of those things taken into consideration, the indications are there that we are slowing down.
Yep.
We have not popped.
Right.
I don't think anybody's sitting here saying
We're
that we
not
have
past
popped.
it. We just need to be paying attention.
So what suggestions are you making right now? Because I know that you're I almost said effing genius. I have a potty mouth, man.
That's funny.
But you are solid and you know this game like so many people do not. And you don't just talk about it, like you truly know it. You want to talk to somebody that's read Dodd-Frank? How long is Dodd-Frank? Like
too long.
Like
It's
1,100
many
pages, 600
titles,
pages,
yeah.
400
yeah, Title
pages?
14 is the one that matters really most to us, but it's a long act.
So this is one of the nerds that'll sit down and read law. I do the same thing. I've never
Yeah.
been, like I'll read mobile home law because I love mobile homes, but this guy has read Dodd-Frank. He knows subject to creative financing wraps like the back of his hand. That is why I chose him to mentor and teach me. What are you seeing happening, and what are you saying that we should be preparing to do as we move into this next cycle?
That's an excellent question. And just because I know we're on a delay here, GoGetta asks, how do I enter that promo code? When you click join on the memberships page, there's a checkout thing, and it says have a promo code, like right next to the title. Click that button, type in thank you, all lowercase, and hit apply. That'll be how it gets in. So your question, but thank you for asking, and I'm looking forward to having you on the Q&A call. You're going to love it. So the question is, so what do you do? What do you do? You're telling me to worry about it. How do I worry about it? This is what I've done. I was buying cash at 82 cents on the dollar because I could turn that into profits. I can still turn that into profits right now, but I'm unwilling to anymore. I have pulled back. I'm back down to the 70-75% purchases, even though, yes, I could still buy something at 82 and make something make sense. We're close enough to a shift that it's dangerous to get into that area. So I would suggest getting a little bit more conservative on your cash purchase numbers. Even though there's going to be a lot of idiots out there making bigger offers than yours, and you may have to say that you can't do a deal because somebody else is outbidding you. I think the smart thing to do right now is if you're in it at cash, don't go. Okay? Don't try to compete with that. What you compete with that with is you start blowing these guys out of the water on terms offers. Okay? Because I can offer 105 cents on the dollar and still turn a 6-figure profit, but you got to play the game. You got to take your offer in installments, right? And there's some really creative trillion different ways to get about getting somebody their equity in installments in a way that's going to way outbid your closest competitor and sound incredible to them, but you have to be listening to their pain points, and you've got to know their situation. You've got to understand what history shows us a seller wants to see in this type of situation. So the answer is get more conservative on your cash offer, get more aggressive on your terms offers. If you do not know how to be aggressive on your terms offers, study history, join up on programs like I'm being very self-serving right here in saying this, and I understand that. But guys,
It's knowledge you need.
It's knowledge you need, right? I believe in this product because I know that I became a millionaire off of this in this type of market. And I look back and I thank God that I got into this market in 2012. I thank God that I got into this market when we were in an area where sub 2 could hit. Because right now for this last 4 years, you kind of were left with cash options. And if you didn't have your private money or your wholesaling or all that kind of stuff, it was really hard to make it. This sub 2 stuff is the real deal. And I've learned a lot about how to buy on terms. And I've learned a lot from working with guys like Eddie Speed has done billions with a B in notes and has some phenomenal ideas that have really opened my eyes to different ways that we can do stuff that I've even learned over this last year. And I've done $80 million worth of creative financing. You know what I mean? Like, this is a bottomless tunnel that you can really keep expanding on to where you can't be competed against. You cannot have somebody make an offer that you can't beat, because if you have the creativity and you have the knowledge of what sellers want in this type of market and how to find that seller, you can't be beat. So my recommendation is get conservative on your cash, aggressive on your terms. Does that make sense to you?
That does. And can I throw in an analogy that I've used hundreds of times?
Please do.
For people to kind of jump in on this. I've got a house. ARV on this house is solid at 100 grand. It's not worth more than 100 grand. I see no foreseeable future where it's worth more than 100 grand. It's next to a city dump. It's not appreciating. It's a $100,000 house. If I'm sitting down with this owner, they own it free and clear, and I've got everybody else coming in saying, you know what, I'm gonna offer you 70 cents on the dollar minus repairs, and let's just say there are no repairs. So everybody's offering this seller 70 grand, and this seller is dead set on getting retail for it. They're like, I know my house is worth 100 grand. I want 100 grand for it. You need to pay me 100 grand for it. So these discounted cash buyers are getting told the no. Are we following this scenario?
Yep. Absolutely.
100 grand. Terms. Could I offer this seller $1 million for that house? And I use that number because it is so, and I'm going to try and use a big word and sound educated, and I'm probably going to blow this up, egregious. Did that work? Did I sound smart? Sweet, I pulled it off.
I love the gleam in your eye, like the pure, I know this word.
I offer that person $1 million for that house. Do you think they will accept that offer? Quite possibly. But for me to make $1 million offer work, we need to talk about terms. It's your price, my terms, your price. So that's kind of how we look at this. Could I give him $1 million for that house? Anybody out there want to give this guy $1 million for a $100,000 house? Most people are going to say no. But what if we started talking about the terms that I would be willing to pay this man $1 million for their house that's only worth 100 grand and they'll never be worth more than 100 grand. Yes, I'll do it. But I want you to be the bank, and I want you to hold that note for 1,000 years. Like, how many notes are on average 20 to 30 years?
Yep.
Almost all of them. So it sounds completely ridiculous that I would get a 1,000-year note on this house, but it's also really ridiculous that I'd pay $1 million for it. But I'd be willing to pay $1 million with it if you gave me 1,000 years to pay it off. In addition to giving me 1,000 years to pay it off, I want it to be on a 1,000-year balloon with all payments deferred. Well, in the next 1,000 years, the dollar's probably not even going to be around. And if it was, it would be inflated so much to the point that $1 million is about the equivalent of a loaf of bread.
Right.
I'm not worried about paying it.
Right.
How am I going to make money on this deal? How am I going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars on this deal? Well, I'm going to collect rent.
Yep.
I'm going to collect rent. I'll collect $500, $600, $1,000 a month for the next 1,000 years. And by the time 1,000 years hit, I'll probably be making, $20,000 a month off it, because that's what rent is with inflation.
Right.
That is how you're able to do that. That's why when he's sitting here saying, I'm offering people 100 to 105 cents on the dollar and still making 6 figures on that transaction, it's quite simply because he has created the terms necessary to beat out all of you cash buyers, for all the wholesalers that are getting new into this game and they're like, I can't get a deal. I can't get a deal. It's because badasses like this are walking in right there in front of you or behind you and saying, yeah, I know everybody else is offering you 70 grand right now, but I'll offer you the full 100.
95% of my acquisitions, this is not a fake number, this is not hyperbole. 95% of my acquisitions have either been told no by somebody else or had another offer on the table when I sat in front of them. That's the power of terms, right?
It means a lot.
So I love how you put that, because guys, you can get so creative with these things to where it's a win-win for you and for them. By the way, I want to welcome Kingdom Builder Investments, who just joined in on creativecashflow.com. I saw my alert come up. Can't wait to get you in the Q&A this coming Monday. Awesome. Can't wait to get some more people joined in there as well, because we will be going over this strategy that you do need coming up into this proven scary market. It's going to be scary for people who don't know what they're doing.
For the uneducated.
And for the guys of us that have done it, oh my gosh, we're sitting there, we're like, oh. To that point, I'm upping my marketing quite significantly. Starting September 1st, I'm putting another 25,000 pieces of mail a month into the mailboxes. And then we're going to be upping that to probably about 75,000 pieces over this next year every month, because now's the time. If you want to, I'm not just saying this to say this. I'm saying this because I'm in it. I'm in this market, and I know that we're shifting, and now's when I want people to start realizing that I'm there as an alternative to all these other crap cash buyers who do not know how to make offers like I do, right?
And see, that's where I love you, because like I have a different plan and a different strategy, and I am chomping at the bit for this next down cycle.
Yep.
Like I am.
You want to come back next week, and I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah, I'll come back next week.
Come back next week, and let's talk about different down cycle.
Because like my full-blown plan right now is I'm going to hedge fund it up, and I'm going to let every single one of y'all win. I'm going to teach every single person I possibly can how to win in a down cycle and how we can all win together. My goal is to make every one of y'all millionaires through the Propelio Academy, through our plans for moving this forward. I guarantee you that if you continue following what we're doing and you apply the knowledge repeatedly until successful, my goal is to make every single one of y'all millionaires, and I truly believe it is possible with the plan that we have in place. I am waiting for this next big hit to pop. I've got the right people backing the idea, and I truly plan to hedge fund this up, and instead of letting Wall Street come in and overcome Main Street, because I truly believe that Wall Street is prepping and saw what happened in the last market cycle to come in and consume more of America. I truly believe that we are in a position, if we are powered with the right knowledge, we as the working class Americans are not going to get shafted in this next down cycle. I truly believe with the right knowledge, we'll all be able to win together. And what happens in the down cycle? It is one of the largest shifts of wealth in the world. Anytime you've seen a massive depression hit, anytime you've seen a massive down cycle hit, that is the largest shift in the world of wealth. Historically, it has been shifted from the middle class and the lower class up to the people that hold the knowledge. We are now giving you the knowledge that you need to be prepared for this next cycle. And our intent with Propelio and Propelio Academy is to arm you with the correct knowledge, with the creative cash flow, the correct knowledge, so that in the next cycle, we can win. And I truly believe that we can all win together. And I have a plan for how we can do that.
I love that. That's a great teaser for next week. And guys, we've got to be ready, because all of you guys that are out there laughing at iBuyers and Open Door, oh, they're losing money. They're not doing it. They're losing money because they're testing the market and they're figuring out how to kill it in this shift, right? Everybody that's out there laughing at these iBuyers and Zillows losing money on it, they know they're losing money. They meant to lose money, and they're about to kill you if you are not part of a bigger movement like this that can actually combat that. So we're gonna talk about
like I'm not even conspiracy theorying this, man. Like people will sit here and watch this and think that I'm conspiracy theorying this, despite what my first impressions might be. I have been allowed the opportunity to sit in the rooms with some extremely well-connected people. I have a very good understanding of what is going on in the background. And when you start looking at what's going on in the background with a common sense mindset, you will quickly see what's happening in this market. And Wall Street is prepping to destroy Main Street. Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening.
And so
if we don't prepare ourselves, they're not prepared for us to be knowledgeable. Hey, they're not prepared for us to know what's going on.
And let me join on to that, right? This is the importance of being together as a community and as an industry. Not only that, but if I can completely shift the market for a second and hawk to the Texas 100, because not only does Wall Street have the power with the dollars, but they have the power in Washington. And so if you really want to play the game, you really want to get out there and invest in investing, and what I mean by that is invest in your career, which is investing, we need to band together on that too. So I want to bring up the Texas 100. We actually just launched our Facebook group yesterday, the Facebook page. So look up Texas 100. We'll put a link into there.
I want to go bigger than that, man.
Well, but I'm talking about, we're in Washington, right? Like, we are talking to senators, congressmen, getting things changed in state and national law to help, not only on that side, but we've got, what I'm saying is the same person. You have to band together.
We've got a whole other show to go, man.
Yeah, you have to band together to be part of this industry. And that means being active in it. That means being a part of a community that's active with it. And that means affecting the laws that are going in towards it.
Because what's going to happen is Wall Street's going to make what y'all are doing illegal to make what they're doing easier.
You got to be licensed in Illinois now to wholesale, I heard.
And I heard there is a lot of regulation that's about to hit. And if we're not banding together, Wall Street will empower themselves to regulate what we are able to do to make it easier for them to do what they are trying to do.
Right.
So it is more important right now than any for us to come together as a community. Stop these factions of we're better than each other. We are a community built around each other, and if we don't unite to fight the powers that are coming to be, we are going to get destroyed. Wall Street's going to take over Main Street, and we need to be prepared for that.
Absolutely.
It is not a theory.
All right, we could talk about this for another hour, which
We'll
we
do
will
that on next week.
Next week. So thank you guys for joining us. As you will see on YouTube and on Facebook, we've dropped the comment for the Texas100.org. Please go like and join Texas 100, because that is how we fight in government to make sure that our voices are heard as one. We've seen some great successes in that so far. Like us, subscribe us. I'm very disappointed in you. Oh, I can't pick this up. I'm very disappointed. We got 6. I know we can do more than that. So by next,
that is what I've been seeing for the past. And this is going to be me coming straight to y'all and hitting y'all with some serious truth. Like, you have zero clue how much money has had to go into doing what we're doing here. I have put everything I have on the line to get this out there for you. And we will ask for something as simple as, hey, subscribe to us on YouTube, and I can't even get y'all to do that. It makes me really question and doubt whether or not the path that we are trying to go down with helping people in the way that we are helping them is truly going to reciprocate what it should. Like, the amount of information that we give y'all is bar none, in my opinion, the most out there. Like, if you go to creativecashflow.com, you go to Propelio Academy, the information that is being dropped is bar none the best out there. And I can't even get y'all to give me a YouTube subscribe. It's like, did I seriously drop $1 million of my own ass on the line? Yeah. Because I can't even get them to get me a YouTube subscribe. It really makes me not want to do it.
Y'all upset Daddy Daniel. And that makes me sad.
It is what it is, man.
But it's true. It is true. So let's give back. Let's work together and get to a higher plane. Guys, I'm looking forward to next week. Next week's going to be really cool. Thank you guys for joining us today. We love each and every one of you. I hope that y'all can see that through the efforts that we're putting into this, because we really do want to see you succeed and become part of the community and get to know you better. So with that being said, thank you for being here today, and we will see you next week.
Propelio TV is sponsored by Noble Mortgage and Investments, Batch Skip Tracing, Think Multifamily, CreativeCashflow.com, and Life and Air.
Want to keep up with the latest Propelio TV daily? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell.